He already gave his ultimatum saying if she won't be back as a full-time cast member, he's not coming back. Arrivederci. We don't want you back. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Summer House Martha's Vineyard. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. I really hate to say this, but I'm so glad this season is over and next week is the reunion. I'm not even going to lie, like this season was my favorite, but it was truly ruined at the very end. I finally saw the clip of Amir saying that if his girl was not brought back to the show, then he wasn't coming back.
This vacation, if it's like a domino effect and the next domino is going to be bigger than season 2 was, I don't think we'll have an enjoyable vacation. And I don't think the dynamic of the house is going to be there to where, you know, I'm going to have a good time and my partner is going to have a good time, because at the end of the day, I want her to be there with me this time.
Right.
And that's how I know I'll have the most fun.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's fun to party with your friends,
right? But
like real adult vacations, like everyone brings their significant others, no one bats an eye about it, and you have a great time.
Yes.
So if all of those things line up, absolutely, I would love to be back for a season 3. If they don't, then I've just got some heavy thinking, because like we talked about, I've got to make sure that if this does end one day, that I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. He's grown. He'll be 30. Him and Brie are like the same age.
Yes.
Like, you're a grown man. If that's how you feel,
stand on business.
Great. Stand on business.
I mean, I'm coming back regardless if Simon comes or not. So.
Okay.
I mean, no shade to him, but you know.
Yeah. If that's how he feels, we respect his feeling.
What do y'all think about Amir going on a podcast saying he won't come back for season 3 unless Natalie is full time? That's his decision.
Yeah.
No, I think that's very tone deaf. I'm being very honest.
I think that, but I think also it was just like, if that's the case, then I mean, you know, I feel like you all should go and do that somewhere else.
And he's sitting up here saying, yeah, people bring their significant others on a trip. That's what adults do. Yeah, but they don't get invited if they messy. If every time we go in somewhere, she's stirring up mess. And we can't even have a good time because we end up arguing. Because here go your girlfriend relaying messages nobody asked her to send. Your girlfriend was the catalyst to all of this mess at the end. And she deserved all the smoke in the world that she did not get. And I am so mad about that. But I will say, I do think that Nick did handle this situation with grace that they did not deserve. It's one thing to be accused of something like that in general, but to be in front of a camera, you know, thousands of people are going to be watching this. You know, it's different being accused on TV. Like, it could affect his reputation and livelihood, and it really should be taken more seriously instead of being met with passive aggression and flippant, dismissive, I'm so tired attitudes when y'all are the one in the wrong. It's really disgusting, and he really deserved to pull out the AK verbally and just unleash on everybody responsible. So when we pick up on this episode, he's basically going off on Bria and telling her, like, I'm the only one that chases after you and make sure you're good when no one else cares about your feelings. And honestly, I've been saying this for the past few reviews. He's one of the only people that does this, and I know it really stings coming from her, but you needed this wake-up call because you never check her when she's doing it to somebody else. And you really didn't even check her when she went off on you for no reason either. But I'm just saying, like, now you see, regardless of the situation, when she's wrong, she needs to be called out. Even in this moment, Nick is the only one really checking her. I know it's his own reputation. So then we get a confessional with Amir, and it's like, I'm glad he's going off on all the other women, and he's not raising his voice to my woman like that. Boy. And I'm just like, first of all, that boy sounded real Jim Crow. Boy, we don't play that boy word down in the South, especially someone who doesn't identify with their blackness. I was not comfortable with him calling Nick boy. Second of all, he should have snapped on Natalie the hardest and dared you to say something, because what was you really going to do? I know Nick kind of comes off as flimsy, but I feel like if he was really pushed to it, he would stomp you like a whack-a-mole. I really believe he could take you, so please stop. if anything, you'll de-escalate the situation before it ever gets to that point. Stop. And you really think this colonizer is going to come up in this house, cause all this confusion and vitriol amongst the collective and not receive any blame, Uncle Ruckus? Do you really think that? Bria storms off like, I just don't approve of his tone, and I don't approve of him raising his voice at me. I really don't even have to say how hypocritical that is when you lash out and have your tantrums anytime you don't get your way towards anybody in that house. And then she said the same stupid remark that Noelle said, guilty people get defensive. If that's true, why do you stay on defense? That must mean you're constantly in a state of guilt. Nobody can say 2 words to you without you trying to hurl something back at them because you're so defensive. So at some point, Preston does speak up and says, how do we move forward from this situation? Because it's like, Nick is saying, I can't even be myself. And in my mind, I'm like, y'all are really setting a bad precedent, because this will affect how people are in the house moving forward. People are going to be tiptoeing. If I were the man, I would constantly call out Shanice for ripping her top off, just flashing her private parts, and, indecent exposure without anybody's consent. I would constantly, if that's the game we're going to play, we all can play it. Y'all have demonstrated handsy or inappropriate behavior when you're drunk that actually does cross the line. So I guess we all can sit down and examine each other's behavior if we're really going to try to play this game. Summer in her confessional says that he never actually touched any one of them. So why were y'all even talking? Like, I wish she would have said that in the moment, because exactly. Jasmine shows her support by going over and giving him a hug, and she's like, is that okay? He was like, well, is it okay if I hug you? Preston says that Bria is a child and basically they're babying her. Not one of the people in that house have ran away from a conversation without trying to resolve it, and she consistently does that. And I also loved how at some point he told Nick, like, let me know how I can support you. Because clearly, I feel like people are on Nick's side and they know those women are in the wrong. They just don't want to actually stand on it. And I wish they would have. Noelle comes out, apologizes for how things were relayed to Tasia, but still stands behind what she said. And she feels like he didn't do anything wrong, but how are you still standing on it when you know you was wrong for even bringing it up in that context? Take accountability fully if you're going to take it. Nick ended up having to apologize to everybody else in the room for raising his voice, even though he had every right to. They just really came off as some black Karens in this moment, because what just happened here? Why is he apologizing at all? He didn't do anything. And it just put a nasty taste in my mouth. Like, this cast is very unlikable. It really is. It's hardly anybody to root for. Alex went upstairs to grab Bria, and he gets up there. Simon's laying in the bed. Why did Bria invite this man in this room with Simon laying in the bed with his whole butt out? Like, Alex was like, are you gonna do something about that? But he ends up bringing her downstairs. Bria is not apologetic whatsoever, is standing behind her flirty comment, even though you must have wanted him to flirt with you, because you sure wanted him to sleep in the bed with you. Is that something you just want? You know how some people think everybody wants them. Every time somebody is nice to them, they think everybody is flirting with them. Is that the kind of situation this is right now? And then she was like, I don't talk about you. And they just rolled that beautiful bean footage of everything she had to say about Nick and his relationship. But at the end, she was like, I thought it was innocent and you never made me feel uncomfortable. Then why did y'all participate in this conversation? Like, there's nothing y'all can say to justify that, and y'all are wrong, so y'all need to be apologizing. Y'all can't possibly truly be friends with this man because you're not considering his feelings whatsoever, and you're not grasping the gravity of it all. Like, so Jasmine did ask, if Tasia and Nick are good, and in the moment he said they were. I do think present day they're not together anymore. I hope it's not because of this situation. I hope this situation wasn't even a factor. I hope she just got tired of Nick acting single when she wasn't around, because I feel like that's a very valid reason to not want to be with him. Nick basically just shut it all down and said he's not wasting any more brain power on it. I'm not going to stay mad for the rest of this trip. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my trip. And the thing that confused me is that Bria walked up to him, hugged him. Are we good? Are you okay? Hugging all on him. That's the problem, Nick, right there. That's the problem. This girl did not apologize for you. She did not admit she did anything wrong, even though she did things to cross your boundaries and your lines and did things that you did not like. You expressed that to her and she did not care. And you still went over and hugged her. She should not have any more access to you as a friend. You should draw a clear line. No, you may not hug me. Hugging you is a problem. So no, I will not be doing that. You have to draw the line somewhere. Like what's not clicking? I don't get it. But what was even more annoying was seeing Natalie over to the side, just stirring her cauldron, snickering, happy she got away with everything because she didn't have to answer for anything. After all that drama went down, finally she carried her behind home. But here goes Amir in his confessional saying, while she was here, I got to have fun without the fear of getting in trouble. Now I'm back to walking on eggshells. And it's like, are the scary black people gonna get you? Like, what? Like, first of all, you act like that's your mama or something like that. Like she's just gonna be your shield and protect you. Like, what? I thought these were supposed to be your friends. Like, why are you scared of anybody? It just makes it feel like that tweet you tweeted a while back still applies. So then Alex throws this fake deep event. What was that? Like, he literally had them painting while forcing his voice on them. Waves, waves, waves. I forgot how it went. But Alex, you're on the verge of not being able to sing. Like, you're one of those people that used to sing in the back of the classroom. Like, it didn't sound necessarily bad, but it was very annoying and you just wanted them to shut up. That's how he sounds. And Shanice was like, she felt like she was in school having to paint, and then people had to get in front of everybody and explain what their painting meant. It just, like I said, fake deep. Like, he's as deep as a kiddie pool, but he wants to give off the impression that he is just so beyond. So then we have Summer, and she's confiding in Preston and Jordan and telling them that she's just going through so much right now, and she just has been burying things down, and she hasn't been dealing with it, and it's been kind of exploding now, and she needs to leave to be with her family. Her grandmother is about to go into surgery. So, you know, they're comforting her and giving her like a shoulder to lean on or whatever. And Jordan was like, you know, you have to let people know what you're going through, because how can we help if we don't know what you're dealing with? And that's a good point. I even needed to hear that. I do relate to her with keeping things inside, just not the way that she has her outbursts, because it's unfair to take things like that out on people. Like, you claim you don't want to place your trauma and burdens on people, but then you take it out in anger anyway. You might as well just tell them. Like, cussing people out is better. So then we have Amir and Nick. They go out for a little golfing outing. They really suck at it. Nick ended up having a conversation with Noelle, Bria, and Shanice after the whole group conversation. And the girls told Nick the truth, that Natalie was the one who wanted to tell Tasia. They told her they didn't want to, and that she shouldn't do it. And she did it anyway. That doesn't 100% absolve them from being wrong, but it is a fact that Nick needed to know, because some of that smoke should have been directed at Natalie for starting all this mess. And he's in his confessional saying, I'm just mad they involved her in it. She involved herself, and you were coaching her on how to deliver this message to Tasia. So you was a part of that. And I hope Nick sees this and sees that this was never your friend. He literally was willing to sell you out for a storyline to get his girlfriend on this show, because that's exactly how all of this went down. He says she isn't completely clean, but it isn't her fault. It wouldn't have happened if she didn't facilitate it. What part of that is not going through your brain? He lied to Nick saying the girls were going to say something to Tasia, and Tasia is her girl, so she had to give her the heads up. Are you just straight up lying at this point? Or did she lie to you and you're repeating what she said? Because I'm just like, you just telling a bold-faced lie at this point. So then we see Summer tell everybody that she's leaving, and Noelle made a conscious decision not to say goodbye to her because she really was not feeling her behavior and how she treated her. I'm guessing that she feels if she goes downstairs, that would be kind of fake of her. And I honestly, I do not blame her. Summer has a lot to answer for at this reunion. I cannot wait to see her get confronted because she stirred up so much mess in this house, and for her to leave early, it probably is for the best. You know, at the very end, everybody's hugging her on the way out, and it was when she hugged Alex, she didn't show it on her face, but I know she was so happy on the inside, just like how she kept repeating that he was inside of her. Girl, why did you keep saying it? That is so cringy every time they replay it. So then Milo went missing. Are we really going to act like production didn't hold on to this dog for 36 minutes so that Bria would freak out and everybody, oh, where's the dog? And 36 minutes, where was he at that 36 minutes later, all of a sudden he comes running across the line? Like, that was so clear. That was painfully fake. Like, y'all really could have left that out of the episode because it translated as artificial. So then we have Amir calling himself confronting the women about telling Nick the whole story without him being there to spin the narrative in Natalie's favor. Because that's why you really mad. He really wants her to be absolved of all of the blame, and that's not happening since she's the center of it. She was the bone carrier. And Shanice kept saying, like, why are we talking about this? We already talked about this, like, trying to dead it, because rehashing it really is not going to resolve anything anyway. Like, if anything, it's going to make Natalie look worse. She got away scot-free. And Bria was like, leave me out of your girlfriend's mess. And, you know, at some point, Nick jumped in because he's still in his feelings that she still doesn't see anything wrong with what she did. So Nick is telling her that she needs to take ownership. And she turned around and clowned him dead to his face and called him Urkel. Once again, Nick, I hope you see these are not your friends. She don't care nothing about you. She clowned you dead to your face. And Bria, I really do feel like you feel some type of way about Nick. Maybe you secretly like him or something and he shut you down. I don't know, but it's feeling a little personal at this point. She lied and said that she wasn't talking about his relationship, but I did agree with her when she said it was brought up by your broad, okay, talking to Amir. She's like, take responsibility for your girl, bro. I guess Amir had it up to here to his little 5'4" stature. And he said, stop raising your voice at me. And then he storms out screaming. And first of all, it was hilarious because nobody took him seriously. Nobody took him seriously because he's a joke, and you know, Alex was laughing at him in his confessional. I just didn't appreciate how he came into this whole thing so passive aggressive when your girl is in the wrong. I just feel like he was very quick to raise his voice at Bria, even though, yeah, she can be frustrating, but she was not wrong. I love how Preston laid it out and said, you came in asking questions and you didn't like the answers. And so you kept pressing the situation. You didn't like what you was hearing until you blew up. That's pretty much what happened. And I'm just like, you were quick to blow up on Bria, but did you ever blow up on your girlfriend? The person who causes mess amongst your friends? The girl who puts down your income in front of others and makes you look like you're the help? The girl who told you she'll cut you off if she sees you flirting with other women? The girl who disrespects you like no other? I'm sure you ain't never raised your voice at her, but you quick to raise your voice when some truth is being said. I feel like that was very telling. So then we see Alex, Amir, Nick, and Shanice. We see them go biking. They stop at this little creek and they have a conversation about what happened. Alex said he doesn't like yelling at the women. And Amir said that it's pretty much equal opportunity once the yelling starts. I don't like Amir, but I tend to agree with that sentiment. Just because you're a woman, that doesn't mean you can come in and disrespect somebody. Why should a person, man or woman, be able to come in and yell in another person's face and that person can't yell back? Alex and Shanice was over there saying, well, y'all just need to disengage whenever she starts bucking, and basically telling them to coddle and accept whatever disrespect Bria is handing out. And I'm like, that's why she's like that right there. Y'all accept whatever she's willing to give you. Sometimes you gotta raise your voice, put some bass in your voice, and say whatever it is that's on your chest as well. Why should she be the only one that can say what's on their mind? Now, I'm not saying go over and stand over her or put your finger in her face or put your hands on her or nothing like that. But yeah, if she yelling from across the room, you should be able to yell right back. Why not? Meanwhile, across town, we see Bria and the girls having a conversation about soulmates. And they ask her, is Simon her soulmate? And she's like, no, my soulmate is somewhere in Tribeca. And everybody's looking like, what? She was like, no, Simon is not my soulmate. They don't have a deep enough connection. We will most likely get married and he's my person, but he's not my soulmate. We know you don't love him or respect him. He don't respect you either. All y'all do is fuss and argue and fight. Of course y'all ain't soulmates. Just say you with that man for the money and call it a day. Because why are you marrying somebody who you don't think is your soulmate unless you want the money? But I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a baby with him, you will live to regret it. Because if he's not going to protect you from, he's definitely not going to protect your kids. Anyway, they have their last dinner and they do impersonations, which most of them are spot on. I don't feel like going through all that. Amir apologized to Bria for yelling, and Bria says she doesn't like to argue. And then she apologized. And Jordan out of nowhere says that she's never going to say she's sorry because she's tired of addressing what she's done wrong. Girl, you were irrelevant the second half of this season. I kind of forgot you were there. And at the very end, y'all, we see iPhone footage of Jasmine going into labor and having her baby, and that was a beautiful moment. But y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I cried my eyes out when I saw Silas pop up and surprise her, because I can't imagine being pregnant and the man that I love is overseas. We're thousands of miles away. I have to go through this pregnancy by myself. You know, I'm sure she had family and friends, but you know, I have to go through this by myself essentially. I have to have this baby by myself essentially. And you know, I don't know when he's gonna even be able to see his child, and for him to pop up, that was so beautiful. I really wish we could have gotten a little bit more out of that, like confessionals or something, just to see how they were feeling in that moment, because it was really a beautiful thing. I don't care how you feel about feelings about Silas aside, like that was so beautiful and touching. Oh my God, that hit me. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I cried so bad I can't even lie. That's the end of this season. The reunion is next episode. We'll talk about the fashions then. Yeah, this group of people is very unlikable for the most part. It's only a couple that I liked, and even they rubbed me the wrong way from time to time. I do not want to see Amir or Natalie next season. He already gave his ultimatum saying if she won't be back as a full-time cast member, he's not coming back. Arrivederci. We don't want you back. Like I said, I didn't want Bria back, but then again, I'm like, we do need somebody to stir up some drama. Okay, you need a villain. And you could even bring Summer back, but we need more. Like, definitely bring Noelle back, but we need more single people. Everybody's in a relationship. We need single people, okay? We need single, attractive men in order to mingle with these women. But yeah, you guys, let me know what y'all think about this review down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I'd love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.